never change, this is Jay every day. I never change, this is Jay every day. I never change, this is Jay. I am a rock representer.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the ZayMoolaSportsPodcast. I'm your host, Isaiah, and the Kelsey Plum area in Los Angeles appears to be coming to an end, as The Athletic reported that she will not re-sign with the Sparks at the conclusion of this season, and that she will likely get traded ahead of the trade deadline on Sunday. And just like that, after acquiring her last year, Kelsey Plum and the Sparks appear headed towards a divorce. And the Sparks totally mismanaged this situation because they were desperate when they should have been patient, because when they acquired KP last year, they thought she would usher in a new era of Sparks basketball alongside veteran all-star De'Aaron Hamby and young rising stars Rekia Jackson and Cameron Brink, and end the team's 4-year playoff drought. But unfortunately, they weren't able to do so, as they compiled a 21-23 record and missed the playoffs by 2 games. But because they showed tremendous growth from their disastrous 2024 season, in which they only won 8 games, it appeared as if the Sparks were headed in the right direction. So because they showed tremendous growth last season, they were very aggressive during free agency, as they brought back legend Recoup and traded Rekia Jackson to the Chicago Sky to acquire multi-time all-star Ariel Atkins. And so now they had a starting 5 of Kelsey Plum, Ariel Atkins, Recoup, Cameron Brink, and De'Aaron Hamby. And the Sparks thought that because of the talent that they had collected, that they were going to be a championship contender this season. But as we know, that has not come to fruition, as they have compiled a 10-17 record and are currently on a 6-game losing streak. And y'all, this has been a disastrous season for the Sparks. I mean, when you acquire Recoup and Ariel Atkins to pair with Kelsey Plum, Cameron Brink, and De'Aaron Hamby, and you're 10-17. Obviously, things have not gone according to plan. The Sparks were definitely supposed to be a playoff team. I didn't think they were going to be a championship contender like some people thought, but I definitely thought they would be a playoff team because of the talent that they had on their roster, y'all. But here's the thing: the Sparks should have never traded a 4KP to begin with, because they did not have the infrastructure in place to be a championship contender. And I think when a team trades for a superstar player, which KP is definitely a superstar player, you need to make sure you have the right infrastructure in place to have success. And they did not have that, y'all. The Sparks were still in the early stages of their rebuild. Remember, last year, that was just the second year, y'all, for Rekia Jackson and Cameron Brink. They were supposed to be, the foundational players for this franchise moving forward. But when they decided to trade for KP, that really accelerated their rebuild. And so now they went from, rebuild mode to win now mode. Although they were not ready, y'all, to be a win now team, they were still rebuilding. They were supposed to again build this franchise around Rekia Jackson and Cameron Brink, 2 young star players in our league. But because they were so desperate, because the Sparks were just ready to be a relevant team again. Remember, y'all, 2024 they only won 8 games. They were the worst team in the WNBA, so they didn't want to have a repeat of what happened in 2024. So they were so desperate to just be a relevant team again that they decided to accelerate this rebuild, acquire KP, and all of a sudden now they're in win now mode. Now they're trying to compete for a championship, even though they're still years away from being in that predicament, y'all. And this is why I think teams should be more patient. I get that we want to have instant success, y'all. We want to be like oatmeal. We want everything just to happen very, very quickly. But sometimes it is important to demonstrate patience when it comes to building out your roster, building your organization, y'all. And the Sparks failed to do so. So now, they're in a situation where outside of Cameron Brink, they don't have any young players they can build around. They don't, right? Because they traded away Rekia Jackson to acquire Ariel Atkins, and Ariel Atkins has not had a very good season, and Recoup has played well, y'all, but even as well as she's played, they're still not winning games. So now the Sparks, they're really stuck as a franchise, because what did they do? They have all these veteran players on their team, but they're not winning. So now they really don't have a choice but to trade KP, because she's disgruntled. She doesn't want to be there. She's 31 years old, y'all, and she was a part of a dynasty with the Las Vegas Aces, right? So she definitely does not want to be a part of a team that is not winning, that is not competing for a championship, when she literally won 3 championships with the Las Vegas Aces. So KP knows what it takes to win. She's been in that environment, and she wants to have an opportunity to compete for more championships in the future, and the LA Sparks are definitely not going to give her the opportunity to do so, y'all. So they absolutely have to trade her. But I think, y'all, that when KP gets traded, it's going to drastically change the landscape of the WNBA, especially if she gets traded to these two teams in particular. So let's look at the teams that I believe should be aggressive in their pursuit for KP. And the first team is the Washington Mystics. The Washington Mystics are having an incredible season. They've exceeded everyone's expectations as they have compiled, a 15-12 record, good for the 8th seed in the WNBA standings. And we know they have a bevy of great young players on their roster like Sonia Citron, Kiki Area, and Shakira Austin, but they still could use some more help in their backcourt, and they need to get more dynamic, more explosive in their backcourt. And we know KP is an electric scorer and shooter. She's also a really good passer, and she's an absolute dog. She's tough as nails. She's ultra competitive, y'all. And you have a backcourt of Sonia Citron with a front court of Kiki Area, and Shakira Austin. I think all of a sudden, y'all, the Mystics go from being a good team to being a contender. I mean, I really believe that they would be a championship contender if they acquire KP, and then you would still have, good role players like Cody McMahon, Angela Douglas, Lauren Best, and Michaela Onyewenye. So I really, y'all, think that the Mystics should be very interested in KP. Now, here's the thing. I would not trade away that 2027 Chicago Sky first round pick that they have, y'all, because we know that pick is going to be very valuable. It's probably going to be the first, second, or third overall pick in next year's draft. We know next year's draft is absolutely loaded with players like Juju Watkins, Hannah Hidalgo, and Madison Booker. So I would not trade that pick away to acquire KP, but if they could acquire her without giving up that pick, they absolutely should do it, y'all, because the Mystics, again, they already have great young talent on their team. Now they just need that veteran player that could really take their team, take their franchise to the next level. So I think the Mystics would be a great fit for KP, y'all. And then the second and final team that I think that would be an amazing fit for KP is the Golden State Valkyries. The Valkyries have had an incredible season as they have the second best record in the league at 19-8, y'all. We know the Valkyries are just an amazing defensive team, the best defensive team in the WNBA, but they still struggle offensively. They're one of the worst offensive teams in the league. And again, KP is a dynamic and electric scorer and shooter. And if you have her in that backcourt alongside Veronica Bird and Gabby Williams and Kayla Thornton, Selena Lucini, Janelle Salon, y'all, all of a sudden the Valkyries, I think, are absolutely championship contenders. Because right now, although I'm a huge fan of the Valkyries, I just don't know if they have the necessary scores to really be legit championship contenders and challenge teams like the Aces and Lynx. But if you add a Kelsey Plum, y'all, a bona fide, 25 to 30 point per game scorer, now all of a sudden the Valkyries become a much more dangerous team. And I definitely think they would be bona fide championship contenders. So I would really love that fit for her, y'all. So those are the two teams that I think should be aggressive in their pursuit of KP, the Washington Mystics and the Golden State Valkyries. And when she gets traded, y'all, and particularly if she gets traded to one of those teams, I think it's drastically going to change the outlook for the rest of this 2026 WNBA season. So it's going to be very interesting to see where KP goes. Wherever she goes, she's going to continue to get those buckets. So there you have it, man. This is me discussing Kelsey Plum potentially getting traded and why she getting traded would drastically change the outlook of the 2026 WNBA season. Remember, y'all, last good messages are what? Make sure you get your daily dose. I'm Mismanagement, and I love y'all. God bless. Peace.